So the servers are back online after about 2 hours of downtime. However, they did not give any update details. They did not make any announcements of what's actually changed. And when you look, we actually have a new battle pass with some new rewards, a new shop update with some pretty cool new cosmetics, even a new cosmetic item, which are these wings. And there's also a full weapon set to go with the outfit. Last Thursday, after I made my update video, they did indeed bring these new celebration packs, with the most expensive one bringing the new weapon skins. Additionally, we still have the continuation of the Lunar Celebration event, along with some weekly reminders on what to expect with new future content. So let's cover all the details. Checking out the new battle pass, Relics of the Abyss, we can see they're giving you the opportunity to get more of those Tower of Greed rewards. This is rather interesting as they're doing it just before they intend to add a new season for Tower of Greed, which should begin on the 26th of February, which Tico did mention would bring an increase to the rewards. In the current version of the Tower of Greed, the main reward, and the reason why you'll do this, is for those relic analysis crystals. And so what they've done with this pass is basically allowed you to obtain more of them with just spending 500 Lucent. How much do you get? Well, you look here and you'll get 170 plus 40 million solent and these rewards, which do they really mean anything? But I guess you do need the Marind to go with those relic analysis crystals to be able to switch up your stats or get them upgraded. So the question is this 170 crystals plus these other rewards really worth 500 Lucent? Let's put it like this. Say you were not bothered with the Tower of Greed, did not want to go through all those floors. Would I buy this? Honest answer, absolutely not. However, if you're a PvP Andy, you have some useful artifacts that give you some stats you may need for your PvP build, and you want to min-max them a little bit further, well, this new battle pass will give you the opportunity of about 5 to 6 chances at upgrading the stats. And that's it. That's all 170 crystals are going to give you. And if you do have some artifacts which have good stats, but you say want to reroll one of them, like this, maybe over to hit chance, that's going to cost 70 out of your 170 crystals. You'll only be able to do that twice. So yeah, I can't really recommend this pass to anybody. Even if you want to min-max those stats, I would just recommend waiting till next week. We will very likely get access to all these rewards that we did through this version of the Tower of the Greed, if not like a bit more of them this time around with the next season just next week. So have a little bit of patience and you'll be able to get more of them for free just playing the tower. And if you struggle with the tower because you prefer to play PvP, well, to me that's a bit confusing. If you're good at PvP, have good reaction timing, you should kind of also be good at this, even if you don't have a fully dedicated PvE build. It's not like you have to beat up big bosses there, so you don't have to have crazy damage. In fact, you kind of want a lot more survivability in there than normal PvE. For example, I run these defensive skills when running the last few levels, just because it's very easy to get one shot and these can prevent that. So I don't recommend anybody getting this. Even as somebody with over 16,000 Lucent, I wouldn't spend 500 on this. I'd prefer to save that amount for some new gear traits, or saving up for some lithograph for some item I might need in the future. So jumping to the new shop update, we can see they've added these new Galaxy Regent wings, which actually fits pretty well with the current outfit I have. My only gripe with this is how prominent the seam lines are. I would prefer if there was more of a blending, a transition, rather than it being a stark cutout like this. Maybe that's just my personal taste. But they will set you back a whopping 2,400 of your precious Lucent if you want to get them. But yeah, they are one of a kind. They've not added wings yet within the game. This is a new fashion slot, as you see just here. And that's what this update has brought new. However, there will of course be over time new wings being added, maybe even some you can get for free, and of course the price will go down over time. That's usually how these things go. First of the first, generally very expensive. Later on, Of course, depending how many people actually buy this thing, it'll very likely get cheaper, either for this one or other variants. But there is an outfit that supposedly goes with those wings. It does have a bit of a cool preview scene here as well. So this is just a female outfit. It does come with a bundle, so you get that hair and you get this ametoi, some sewing thread and dye to help customize it. 1,350 lucent. Having a closer look at this outfit here, we can indeed remove the decoration, and that simply gets rid of the crescent, moon and star at your shoulders. For the male version of the outfit, that's it here. The hair is a little bit different. You have this facial piece as well. And again, removing the decoration just removes those. And ignore the swirlies that were on the arms. That's from my armor set, the legendary gear. So not a bad outfit. Pretty cool. And there are some weapons that go with them. So we'll have a look. This is the great sword. Has a shiny effect there. The staff with that similar effect. The sword and the shield. Your spear. The longbow, which they kind of attempted to customize the quiver. It's just a different color. You have the orb then, your daggers, looking pretty odd, your crossbows, and the book and wand. You still have another week on the Moondragon weapons if you want them. There are some rotating morphs and amatois as you see there. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see there are those celebration packs, which were out since last week, but they seem to release these a little bit later than when I make the video after the server comes online. There's this bronze pack. You can get this amatoi along with that lucent. It's the same amount that you get on the base pack. You're just getting the amatoi on top. Same here, but then with this morph and this morph. And then here you will get this outfit called the Oathkeeper's Harness. And you do also get a morph with that, which is pretty cool. But then the top tier version comes with some new weapon skins. You at least do get your value in lucent, and the weapons are just bonus. So this great sword, sword and shield, the daggers, your spear, the longbow, again with the quiver that's only faintly colored, your crossbows, your staff, and then your book and wand. Oh yes, and there's also the orb. And that's everything new within the shop just here. We did have a teeny bit of maintenance, so they do still give us ornate coins every time. In terms of the continuation of the lunar event, they still have that. Stay online for 3 hours. You can obtain these rewards, food items, along with the New Year's card, which this guy on Reddit here has nicely listed out where you can find those, and you'll trade them with those NPCs to get some housing items. We still have the daily check-in event. We're finally getting to the decent rewards here, and we'll get one more of those solar steed lanterns, which you'll give to the horse statue. I've no idea why you only do it twice during the event, once at the beginning and once at the end, with no other way to get more of these lanterns, but that's how it is. You can get up to 100 million solent. Otherwise, just do your dungeons. You'll get these coins, which you can then exchange for these rewards. So finally, moving on to some weekly reminders. I'll cover the bare minimum. Visit your sundries merchant, grab the contract scrolls, do your resistance contracts or your cooking contracts. You can also do some amateur expeditions, getting the contract coins to get extract stones and ink. I would save them for when we get the new gear piece, the brooch. Ideally do your guild raids, purchase the conversion stones, visit your field bosses, or at the very least the arch bosses. You'll get a chance at some decent drops, along with some resistance medals you can trade in for some good rewards here, including the unlock stones. You can get more of those medals by doing your dynamic events here. Visit the Lawless Wilds Nebula, farm some mobs for about an hour, and you can get more unlock stones, pouches, and some chests. You can do your battlegrounds to get your 10 weekly wins, and with those coins you can purchase runes if you still need the levels, and otherwise save up for some items here. Do the raid here, and buy your chaos prisms. You do have the option to buy now the new pouches, but I honestly wouldn't. I'm saving my currency for the brooch. Ideally do your dungeons, random normal queue, trial queue, open those chests and get your accumulated point rewards. And do your secret dungeons. Gate of Infinity, Tadale's Tower contracts, and Hall of Illusion. And that's about the bare minimum I would do in Throne and Liberty, but there are of course some other activities here, particularly if you're in an active guild. Finally, in terms of new content to look forward to, what we have announced so far is big server merges coming. This will be March the 12th. It will heavily impact these American regions, as they will all be merged into one Central American time region. Some of you will be getting screwed over by server connection speeds and server event times. Similarly, those of you enjoying a PlayStation exclusive server outside of America will end up being thrown into the mix of everybody else on those main populated servers. Everything will be a lot more contested. But the next big update is not until April the 2nd, which should bring just 2 co-op dungeons, a new Battlegrounds map, and a new brooch item. And that's it. It's not likely we'll get tier 4 or a new map expansion until at least the summer. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around.